Ho, ho, ho. It's the holiday season, and I am going to be working this afternoon on the world grid, and about to explain to you how it all came about. So we're going to go to the table so we can see what's happening there. Yes, okay. 3 years ago, I was talking with this energy worker from England named Tim Walter. And I was explaining to him how I built grids. And he said, well, you build grids for people. Why don't you build a grid for the world? And I went, oh, that's not pretentious at all. We're going to go build a grid. Surely, slowly but surely, people said, that sounds like a great idea. So Jeffrey, who used to be on Ripe Color, and I'm sorry, Jeffrey, I just blanked on the new channel name, but he's got a new channel name. I'll get it by the end of this reading, by the end of the time I'm done this. And I asked he mentioned, well, we'll just pull a card and you can work from that. And then I was talking with Dr. Gail, and she said, well, I'll help you pull a card and we'll go from there. So they pulled a card, and we got the Merkaba and Delight, and we built a grid, and it was this wonderful grid that I've had for 3 years. And we also pulled the heart chakra as the main of the chakras that were going into it. And so we pulled it, and I found the stones, and this represents a Merkaba, and this represents the spirit of energy and energy emerging out. And we put this together 3 years ago. And then on New Year's, 3 years ago, Shay came over and helped us fire it up, doing all that. For those of you who know how it works, you start with the center stone, then you go out to these three. These happen to be moss stones. Then I have 2 red jaspers and a carnelian in here. And then we just went all out. And then I created, these are all little fluorites and little quartz. And we created this grid, and we fired it up, and we set it humming away, and it was doing beautifully until there was an election last year. And see that little white spot? That wasn't on there when I put this stone on there. It was a pure stone, and I can't show it to you, but along the bottom of this fluorite that's in the center, there's a giant crack. So we've been watching that. This beautiful honey calcite here too. We've been watching that for the last year, and then all of a sudden we decided that we really need to build a new one. And then this one is actually going to go back. This is going to go to Tim Walter in Yorkshire as soon as I get the second one built. So that's how we do it. So what do we do this time? I start with a deck of cards because I like cards. And I use Crystal Activations, and it's by a woman named Lon, and it's full of all kinds of cards. And I gave Dr. Gail, Jeffrey, and Danny, and Sheila. I said, pick a number between 1 and I think it's 48 or what's in this deck. And so they picked, Danny picked 2. This is Sacral Chakra. It's a great card. And Dr. G picked Alchemy. And Sheila picked Coherence. And Jeffrey, of course, picked Passion because he's an artist. He always picks things like that. So what I decided when I laid these all out, to look at them with me. how was I going to take all these forms? Normally when I build a grid, I build it off one card, one set of impressions, one set of meanings of what's going on. And the sacral chakra means the frequency is the sacral chakra is the orange flower of life, supports our ability to flow with our desires and to stimulate creativity and power and to manifest success and abundance in our lives. And normally I don't build off of a chakra card because there's not a lot to build from there, but we're using that energy as the background. Then the next one was alchemy. And the frequency of alchemy, it activates our magical ability, remembering the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access ancient knowledge and be allowed to become our own true alchemist and to perform miracles of transmutation. So that one. So then the next card I have to work with getting on here is coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize frequencies of the heart and mind for the optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. And then the frequency of passion is frequency reminds us that behind every intense emotion, there's a hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within the intensity, moving us from chaos into calm and into care, where we can become a long-lasting wisdom and have it fill us up. And it's got some beautiful images on it. So I've been looking at these cards for over a month. And the first thing I knew immediately was, I know I'm working with the black background here, but it's going to be sacral chakra. I've got a lot of bright young stones. I've got a lot of mother of pearl and stuff to brighten up the background. But that's going to be the background. And that's the frequency we're dealing with. We want it to bring forth abundance and love into our life. And then the next image I've decided to focus on was alchemy. Now I have built this grid before, and it's a gorgeous grid. And so what's going to happen is alchemy, the power of that's going to be the center. Passion is going to be on this side, which to me is the right. And coherence is going to be to the left. So those were the images I had to work with. Now, when I build a grid, I always start from the center. And if you look at these centers, these are some center stones I have. This one's got a lot of green in it, which will go well with the coherence. And the passion is going to be this one. But I've been not really sure what I wanted to do for the center stone. I have a couple choices. And what I'll do is I'll lay them out next to each other and see. That one's too dark. Not going to use it. I thought about using this because it's a natural sort of petrified wood that's been carved. And then I can make the little flower shapes on it. Or I can go with one of these two, which are picture jaspers, and figure out which one to work with. So when I'm looking at it, and this is really the first time I'm looking at it because I picked up this carnelian yesterday, and this snowflake obsidian I've had for a while, but it's green. It's really weird because it shouldn't be green, but the little flecks in it are green. So that goes with the coherence. So I think I'm going to put that as my the center of these, because this one is this one is this, and this one is this. And I hope I'm not confusing you terribly. What I've done is I've taken the images of the three cards, and the best way to unify them is through alchemy. And I am going to take a beautiful yellow adventuring and make that the center of this grid. So now I have to build each form out from the, so I'm going to build the right and the left first and then squish the center in the middle. This is a larger frame than I usually work with because it just is. And I have tons and tons of bags of stones over here, and I need to find the blue that I'm going to put around the passion. So I'm looking for my blues. Now this is a blue I love to work with, and it is actually very close to the blue that's on the card. It's called Chrysocolla. And it has lots and lots of little chips. And what I'm intending to do is to build those chips around the outside of this. I often augment the center stones because they're so important to how you focus your energy when you're working with the grid. This is a little pot. I could get something. I'm not used to talking while I do this. I usually just lay them out and talk to myself. So. This is what Chrysocolla looks like. That's the color it is, but I'm using the chips. Put it in a little pot so I can pick through and find the ones I want. So when you guys hear about me, oh, I was working on a grid and I was doing this and that. This is what I'm doing. I'm sitting at my desk playing with stones. And I just finished my Christmas Advent crystals, which was fun. And I'm glad I'm done with it, though. I mean, 25 days of anything is more than days than I want to deal with things. So, and I think you're too dark. Pull in one that's lighter. Chrysocolla is a stone that's found where turquoise is found, and there's a couple of other ones. They all start with C, and they're real pretty, and they're really, really a lovely accent stone. So I'm going to put this one in there because it's not quite full enough. Okay, now I'm done with creating the center of this one. So now I'm going to go over and I'm going to work on Sheila's coherence. Now, I want to put a really pretty light stone, like something in the middle. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put I had some beautiful crackled quartz. I found a couple bags of it and I grabbed it when I saw it because it's a wonderful accent stone. So those are my crackled quartz. Oop, you're too big. Yep. You're the one that's supposed to be there. So now I have my 3 centers. And you guys can type comments in the comments, but I'm not reading them. So just so you know. Okay, now the next one is I want to do this and this that are off of here. What am I going to do? I had ideas yesterday. I know I'm probably going to have some citrine. No more. No more. Highlight. That's the one I want. Fire quartz. That's what I want. This is fire quartz. This is fire quartz, and it's, when you see it in real life, it's quartz and it has little red lines through it. Is that the fire quartz? No. A second, I have a better bag of fire quartz. For those of you who haven't watched the 25 days of Advent, this is a deep one. Okay, I'm going to get the darker fire quartz out. Somebody said, where'd you find all those grids? I mean, all of those stones all of a sudden that you had to put around you to make the, for the 25 days. And I just spun around and pulled off my shelves and emptied my drawers and got all the stones I needed. I actually had more stones than I needed. So I could have gone on and on forever, but when we say Christmas is going to be over, okay. I'm getting fire quartz. This is what I've been doing. I have some really deep pink quartz that almost looks like fire quartz, but it's not fire quartz. You can see on this one, they've got like little red inclusions. If I put something white behind it. See the little red, that's the fire. That's the iron that's running through the quartz that makes it fire quartz. Here's a dark piece of fire quartz. Okay, and what I'm looking for those of you who have just joined us, is I'm looking for a crystal to put in here that I think will give me that visual feel, to give me that energetic feel. And I'm working on alchemy, which is the middle of the three parts. And empty my pie plate. I need my pie plate. When I'm sifting through crystals, I put them on here because I can see them more plainly. I have some more fire quartz. No, this is more fire quartz. I gotta find the right size stone. And what I'm going to lay out that you're going to see today, as far as I get, depending on how tired I get doing it, building grids is exhausting. There's my alchemy card. That's a beautiful piece of fire quartz. And that's a gorgeous piece of fire quartz. And they both have flames in them, which takes care of the other part of that. And then I'm going to put I'm not sure I like that one. This one better. When I saw these, you don't find fire quartz all that often. And when I saw a big bag of it, this bag has stones that are like this big, and then it has stones that are like this big. And normally I don't build grids on 10 by 10 frames. This one I'm building it on a 10 by 10 frame because it has the 3 images in it, and I think it's going to work out better in the long run. So, okay, this is a part that I didn't want to bore you to tears, but I have to put all my stones back where they belong, or I will end up with a giant amount of stones, and then I will have to get out my rock identifier program on my cell phone and say, what am I identifying? Let's see, I may actually use there's stone. Okay. That's what happens when you're working with these. All of a sudden, I'll see a stone. It'll say, no, I'm supposed to be there, not that one. Or I'll try to put a stone on a grid, and it'll just roll away. It won't stay because they're just not supposed to be there. By the way, I'm going to finish this. What I'll do is I'll do a rough draft today. I will finish affixing things to this tomorrow. And then sometime between Christmas and New Year's, the other four that were part of deciding how to come up with this grid are going to magically appear on my station. Okay, you think you want me to do that? You want me to do that? You want me to do that? I just got a message. You're supposed to use these little guys to fill out form. One jumped out of the bag. Okay. That's how it wants to be right now. We'll see tomorrow. What I'll do is I will take a picture of what I come up with today, and then I will take it all apart, and then I will look at it again tomorrow with fresh eyes and decide if that's what I want to do. So that's basically this way. That's what it was telling me it wants to go this way. Okay. Well, this is going to look different than what you're seeing right now, but that's basically, I think, how it wants me to lay them out. So the center of the alchemy is done, as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna zhuzh it up. I'll put in some other little crystals and things, but trust me, you don't want to watch me handling teeny tiny little stone chips. I can guarantee you don't want me to do that. Okay, now 4 around this stone. We're going to go to coherence next. Around coherence, I am going to put some kyanite. Now, kyanite is an incredibly powerful crystal. It can be in black, and I have these light blue ones. I have a whole bag full of this stuff. And I'm going to form the kind of rim that's around this, and then I'm going to grow out and find the reds that I want to put there. I think I know what I want them to be, but this is the bitty part. This is the building the little bitty parts. Trust me, you will not watch me glue this together. That will not be a show for tomorrow, kids. Because when I glue stuff together, it's kind of a show for the ages. it's just a little bit strange. There we go. I'll explain to you the kind of adhesive I use and stuff, but I'm not going to sit here and stick all these stones down because I do have a potty mouth at times. And that's one of those times. Okay, you're too big. We're the right size. And then okay, now kyanite is an incredible connective stone, and it moves energies around, and those are too small. You're going to get another more decent sized one there. Yeah, kyanite sort of falls apart while you're working with it too, because it's flaky. It's a mica kind of stone. Anyway, that's basically kind of the look I'm going for. Now, I've found my reds to go around you. And you guys may go up, and I think I may know why, because I'm not going to have that much room. Okay. Bum-ba-dum. Where'd it go? Where are my little warm reds? Little warm reds. These are too big. Okay. Let's what? Okay. Yep. Here's the kyanite bag. Okie dokie, smoky. Okay. Yay! These are okay, I thought I pulled it out. Hold for a second. I'm coming, I promise. I do not tend to spend the entire day over here in these drawers, although sometimes it feels like that's what I do. Bloodstone. I've got some jasper that I'm going to put in place. If I'm not happy with it, it means another trip to the rock shop. Okay. There's worse places to go. This is as boring as watching paint dry because it's kind of the equivalent of it. Okay, we're going to go with this Jasper until we figure it out. Oh my God. I only lost 3 of you. That must have been fun. Okay. What's this going to go in here? I'm counting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 6 things shooting out from here. Okay. 1. 2. Okay. 3. So that's got to be halfway around the circle. Okay. I got 1 more. I really do. It's on its way. This is yellow aventurine, in case you're wondering. Yellow aventurine's a great stone for a lot of passion and energy. And these were actually meant to be part of a beaded necklace. And what I do is I have a little mother of pearl that I stick on there to cover the hole. That's what I'm doing. And since there's red bursting out from there, so I'm going to have to work on this guy in the middle. So I'm not used to having things that are this close to each other. Yes. Okay. Like I said, guys, this is a rough draft. Okay. And then I'm going to put little mother of pearl bursts, and I don't get those out because those little boogers slide all over the place and they hide. And they may be attached with little kyanites to the center here. That's going to be the end of that one. Okay, now. For passion, I have these really beautiful See how pretty they are. These are crackled quartz that were done out of a yellow quartz. So let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on the middle one. Those are there. Now, and I have some really beautiful citrine chips that I can slip into here, but like I'm not going to do that because I'll know when I put it together whether that's going to work or not. And then the next layer out. So you're wondering what I'm looking at. The next layer out. It's going to be Cobra Jasper. And I'm picking the Cobra Jasper. It's kind of a reddish color, but I'm really picking the Cobra Jasper because I really like the way it looks and behaves. And you'll see it. It looks like snakeskin. It's real pretty. Float that out. Sure about these guys now. They said they wanted to be in there, but they're just too much in there, and these need to be this way. Okay. One more. Okay. And then what's going to happen, I'm leaving them close here. I'll make that decision tomorrow when I look at it again. Okay. No Flower Beauty, I'm not. I'm trying to build a grid. I have 2 special stones that I want to place on this grid that are not in the 3 forms of the grid. One is, it's called Spectralite, and it's a form of black mica, but it's got little sparkly chips. When you see it in real life, it's like, it looks like the universe is floating in a stone. And the other one is the Merkaba. And I have to figure out how to work. I know they need to be in there. I'm just not sure how. And I'm not sure I want you. I love the Cobra Jasper, but I'm not sure it's going to work. What I'm thinking is going to work is The honey calcite. Yeah, I think it's going to work better. Honey calcite on the outside. Not too big. Two, three, three. The fire quartz in the center might get its wings trimmed, but let's see what we got. I believe they might have decent size. Okay, there's the honey calcite. It's not quite. These things are going to have to get trimmed. I can tell, and that's beyond my ability and scope to do at this point in time. What I thought of was mounting the Merkaba, which is this wonderful little shape. And this is at the end of sacred geometry when the two triangles come together and they form unity around everything. And it's a wonderful, wonderful shape. But we got to figure out how to make it work. I'm thinking, looking at it now and looking at it on the space that I have to work in, I may reorient it so that it's like this and not just across. Because I'll have more inches, not by much, but I have a little bit more inchwise to work with that way. So anyway, guys, people have asked me for years, how do you build a grid? This was probably one of the most discouraging shows you could have ever seen. About how do you build a grid. But anyway, like I said, I also have some pyrite pulled out. I've got some gold. Because remember, the whole background's supposed to look like this and have a lot of tiny little gems to spread out. And the more I think about it, the more I think I'm going to orient it this way so that the stones go like this across. That'd be fun. This lens sort of distorts. It's kind of a fisheye lens, so it's not the best. But I think that will work better. And then I'm going to get rid of some of the giant fire quartz and put in smaller fire quartz. And anyway, the 4 cards that I'm trying to fit together here, and this is like this is the overall layout with the center and the things on 2 sides. To this side is passion. On the other side is coherence. And it's what we're seeking for the world in 2026. And it was a random choice by some readers. I just told them to pick a number between this, and they all did. And I want to thank you all for coming and joining me. And, you know, maybe it'll give you an idea if you're sitting at home, just sitting around saying, well, what could I do with those stones? I could do this. And I will see all of you, I'm sure, later this week. Let's see what my schedule looks like. I've got a psychic profiles, I think. On the 23rd, on the Tuesday. No, I don't. I take that back. I don't. Being kind, I'm trying to fit in all the people who have 12-month readings, and I'm going to be getting back with all of y'all about that. And anyway, tomorrow my big adventure is it's on my calendar to change the cat's litter. I think I'd rather play with the rocks, but I guess my poor cat deserves it. She puts up with me. She deserves it. Anyway, I don't know if that helps any of you. I can tell you a little bit. That's yellow aventurine, which is a great inspiring rock to pull in energy. It's sitting on a piece of petrified wood, which is an ancestor stone. It has fire quartz around it, which is quartz with a little extra oomph and a little extra flair. This is the center stone, and this one's carnelian. It's surrounded by chrysocolla, which is a very soothing stone. And then I put some crackled quartz around that, which whenever you crackle a stone and make it more reflective, you give it a little more energy. This is bloodstone with a crackled quartz on top of it, and it has kyanite around it. And kyanite's a great connector stone. It also has these bits of yellow aventurine around it and red jasper. And those two, yellow aventurine and red jasper, are pulling in all kinds of energy. And that's the side that's coherence. And the value of coherence is to harmonize the heart and with the frequency of the mind. So that's what we're working on. And it's trust me, it's going to look different after I work on it some more tomorrow. But and I don't think I'll be doing that live. But I want to thank y'all for coming. And I've threatened to do this for years, and now I've finally done it. Thank you, Adrienne. And I will talk to some of you later. Bye-bye.